This industry isn't going to get fixed until all our interests are mutually aligned.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's a fairness to it. And not, I'm not going to tell you on a need-to-know basis, but as teams, we got to be forward and we have to communicate, which you did. Mm-hmm. But there has to be a two-way street, and the business model, the financials got to get better, the distribution of those, and get these interests mutually aligned. We're still going to be okay. The sky's not falling, but opportunities being left on the table each and every day until something better happens than today.
I'm curious, though. I don't know how specific you want to get here, but I'm curious what's working and what's currently broken, and how do you fix anything that's not broken in current day licensing and merch?
On the trackside model, let's get to that. The economic model, Kelley alluded to break evens, and I even said today it's 1.4 million. I think as these new TV deal comes to play, this is a personal opinion here, and these tracks get rights to events, licensing has to be hard code written in. Because right now, when I go to one track, that track proprietor could charge me XYZ to park our trailers, and you go to another track, there's a different proposition. That shouldn't be. And also in there, and what's always bothered the drivers and the teams is, let's just say, when we sell a souvenir, we make $1. So, you sold this souvenir, so from the IP rights holder, the track's an IP right, and so's the driver, and so's intellectual property. How does that dollar get split? Well, the tracks get 55 cents of that dollar. NASCAR gets 5 cents of that dollar. The driver gets 20 cents of the dollar, and the team gets 20 cents on the dollar. Harvick, who's pretty astute businessman for a driver, probably one of the best in the sport. I mean, he's helped us try to champion this, and that has to be a fair split, and that's part of the problem. And also, the number can't be too high. You can't charge 30% or 40%. There has to be, just say it's a total industry fee of 20%. It just has to get split better between all the IP marks. Kevin Harvick's name is just as important as Stuart Haas's name, just as important as Racetrack ABC's name. So that's not a good allocation of it. Now on that's on the track side. And if you write that into the sanctioning agreement, we could fix that long term. We should know for the next 5-10 years, we got to fix that. Now, and some tracks are being creative. If this driver does this autograph, maybe we'll reduce the fees. That's not fixing the problem. We got to fix the problem.
Yeah.
I've had that problem in 1995.
Yeah, it's always been a topic of conversation for sure.
Yeah, your dad put me in front of Bill France in 1995. And I just said, this is a bad economic model. Why do you get this and we have to get that? I said, that's not fair. And
I think in a larger perspective of the licensing business in general, a lot of it has to do with just, consumers' change of habits, right? So, I mean, if I think of it from the Walmarts of the world and retail and just what, the different generations are interested in and not interested in, collectibles, people, I don't think people are collecting things anymore, right? This new generation of people that are, I'm going to say, 30, 35 and under, they're not, I mean, I've got storage upon storage upon storage. Like when I die, somebody's gonna have to go through some massive amount of some die cast, and what are they gonna do with it? I think to myself, and now, why am I hanging on to this, and what is somebody gonna do with it after I store it for the next 30 years? Yeah. And I don't think people are in that mindset of collectibleness and things like that. So I think just those consumer habits changing, the way retail works and is changing, the floor space dedicated to product in the store, whatever it is. I don't care if it's, shampoo and conditioner versus Dale Jr. t-shirts, and, margins and timing as our sport has changed with, changing sponsors and changing paint schemes. We don't have the time that we've alluded to that's necessary to create meaningful programs and to create, meaningful things. So you're just, you know, trying to be in the moment of what's going on and do the best you can with what you can. And then the driver star power is certainly different, right? So, I mean, we talked about the exodus of so many of the names. I mean, the driver star power is different. Their personalities are different. The, you know, the PC world, you know, having to be politically correct in this world today, you know, probably sometimes stashes people's personalities. And so I just think there's so many things just as
a lot of hurdles.
Life,
Yeah.
you know, has changed.
And the brands, Budweiser.
Yeah, and the brands. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
you know, I mean, there's just not as, I said National Guard wasn't a sexy sponsor as is Worldwide Technology Logistics, you know, a sexy sponsor. Not really, you know, like what can you come up cool with that, you know, on paint schemes and whatnot. I think where people are looking to, low, is you've got, you know, you've got fun brands and things like that to support. Like we've done some fun things with Dirty Mo Media with the nostalgic cars and different things like that. And you look at like Ross Chastain and the watermelon stuff. And, you know, you just see these people coming out with even our own Door Bumper Clear guys with Couch Racer and different things like that. You know, I think that's what's kind of trending to that generation that I talked about, you know, that 35 and under. And
the big bites are over.
Yeah.
They're good examples of little bites. And,
like little niche audiences, niche
but I think that's what it is these days. I mean, you can go and you can use all these different like on-demand print sources to be in a hot market. To do something quickly. It's much more difficult to do meaningful, long-term, sustainable programs with the ever-changing landscape of sponsors, drivers, and so on.
I tend to agree with that. But then the Sundrop Wilkesboro thing from last year.
We had time.
You had time. That's right.
We had time.
We had time to build it.
We had time to
plan
build
it and make it and
build
create
it, and they will
execute
come.
And it's a pretty cool little brand in a niche market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think on the flip side of the Sundrop situation, very authentic to the family, right? I mean, that's just an authentic situation. You know, we did the number 3 Bass Pro Shop car with Dale at Florence last year. We did not have as much time on that program as we did on the Sundrop program, and I think the normal expectation would have been that those two paint schemes and those two opportunities could have married each other in expectations, and they didn't. And I think they didn't for that reason. We didn't have time to promote, to continue and do. Yeah. And I that's just very important.
And one other thing too is the cadence between the two programs.
Correct. Absolutely.
You announced the Sundrop and you took a lot of money out of the marketplace.
Absolutely.
And then you came back 2 months later, you knocked on that fan's door again.
Yep.
You know, maybe right before Christmas wasn't the right time. I mean, you got to run the program.
Which is about timing as well, right?
You got to do what's right for the partners and that. And that's where licensing is secondary and it supports. It just embraces and amplifies what's going on, but it's never going to be the lead dog.
Or you have to decide when it can be the lead dog, honestly. I mean, y'all made that decision with the Olympic program that you talked about, right?
That's true.
So, I mean, there are opportunities, I think, where you can, but 52 cards have to be up on the table. You have to have those conversations. You've got to have people that understand the business. You've got to, and all of those things kind of have to take place. I mean, we did the Sundrop thing because we thought it would be cool. And it was authentic to the family. And we didn't, you know, go after it from the licensing angle of it. We were like, oh, my gosh, we want to run a cool paint scheme. Dale ran that paint scheme at North Wilkesboro. We're going back to North Wilkesboro for the first time in 20 years, and this is going to be amazing. And then, but you had time to plan a program around it because Joe's mind said, oh, this can be a great thing. Our fans are really going to support this.
we sold $50,000 worth of soda, Sundrop, out of that little shop there in 2 days. I quickly shut that down.
That was this year. Yeah,
that was this year.
I was in the pick, pack, and shipping of
cans.
12, and that was it blew up. Yeah,
it was successful till it wasn't successful.
Yeah, I just had enough. I had enough.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the demand was crazy, and we were just not built for that.
Hey, if you like that video, like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss another piece of Dirty Mo Media content.